Welcome back to Indigo Smokes, Tarot, Astrology, Mysticism. This is another astrology interpretation for the moon signs. I am doing moon in Taurus, which I'm kind of excited about. I don't know any moon in Taurus individuals personally, but then again, I don't know every single chart of the people that I know, so I don't know if I know them, but to my knowledge I don't know anyone who has moon in Taurus, but I have paid attention to certain celebrities that have moon in Taurus, and so that's gonna help me along with my intuitive understanding and my research of what it is like to be a moon in Taurus, what it means, how it's expressed, all of that. Let me see. So to start, also I have like at least 7 pages of notes here, so I just finished doing the Aquarius video. That was the longest video, and this one may match it. I don't know. It could. So to start, your moon sign is the energy that you operate out of as soon as you come out of the womb. It's the energy you bring with you from the past life. It's who you are subconsciously, unconsciously, instinctively. It's your emotional habits, your emotional patterns, who you are at your core, who you are in private, who you are as a child. Your moon is the relationship that you have with your mother, with your home environment, with your caretaker. Let me see what else. I feel like the moon is your soul. It's what you need. You need the desires and requirements of your moon energy in order, you need them met in order to feel safe, to feel nurtured, to feel secure, to thrive, to be at peace. You need the needs of your moon sign fulfilled. What else? It's your soul, it's your core, it's who you are in private. This is the energy that you operate out of from the time that you are born to maybe 7-8 years old, and then other things in your chart start to kick in. I feel like children operate out of their moon sign energy and their rising sign energy from the very beginning. I could be wrong about the rising sign thing, but in my experience, I've noticed that kids have the qualities of both their moon and their rising. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. How you grew up, your relationship with your caretaker or your mother, more traditionally. And just what you need to feel sustained and safe and nurtured and whole. So that's the moon. Also, did I say it's your instincts, your emotional habits, your patterns, your natural cycles? So Taurus is ruled by Venus, obviously, so it's all about comfort and safety and security and material stability. The moon is exalted in Taurus, so it's very, very comfortable here. It thrives here. It's exalted. This is a very good benevolent placement to have for your moon, because Taurus, being Venus and earth energy, it's like the perfect container to make the moon feel safe and secure and happy and pampered and all of that. So anyways, Venus rules love, it rules comfort, it rules money, it rules pleasure, creativity, anything that makes life or an experience artistic or beautiful or loving or harmonious. That is Venus. Okay, so now getting on to Moon and Taurus energy specifically, I would say Moon and Taurus individuals they love art, they love beauty, they love creativity, they love pleasure. Moon and Taurus people are very desire driven, pleasure driven, goal driven. Like, I say in general, Moon and Taurus individuals have no problem working hard, because it gives them the comfort and security that when they're playing, when they're chilling, that they're good. So I would say they work and play hard equally, the balanced ones, of course. Moon and Taurus, they love quality things. Okay, they like the finer things in life, and even if they're more frugal or modest financially, there's going to be something that they splurge on and absolutely must have in quality form. I would say Moon and Taurus people, they're inclined to beautify and decorate their home environment. Their home has to feel like a cozy, comfortable, safe haven full of, fine quality towels and dishes and food and mattress and all of that. It all has to stimulate their five senses. They're very affectionate, touch oriented, very sensual. They love to touch, they love sex, they love leisure, they love creature comforts, they love food. Okay, Taurus dominant individuals, Moon and Taurus individuals are known stereotypically to be foodies. No shame in that. Sometimes people in some expressions, Moon and Taurus can be perceived, or they can actually be lazy. Typically the more unbalanced expressions, the darker expressions, or when they're more depressed or when they're more stuck in a rut, they can excessively overindulge in food and anything that engages their senses, whether that's food, sex, people, clothes, buying things. They can do any of that excessively as a way to emotionally cope with whatever they're going through when they're not in balance. I would say Moon and Taurus individuals, they're very calm, they're very grounded, they're very soothing to be around. Typically, they're all about peace and serenity. They do not like conflict. They're very level-headed. It's not easy to really piss a Moon and Taurus off unless you disrupt their routine. Then you may have some issues. Moon and Taurus, they can be known to be quite patient, but once you do piss them off, they are very much like that bull archetype of being very chill until you cross certain boundaries, and then all hell might break loose and you might want to go run and hide, because it can get very, very scary. They like things a certain way, and their comfort, their security, and their quality cannot be compromised in any aspect of their life, or otherwise they're not going to be well, they're not going to rest well. They need those things to have peace of mind. Their ability to take care of themselves and acquire the possessions that they want and the lifestyle that they want is directly tied to how much they value themselves, and it's also a reflection of how much they value themselves. Let me see. So that they are very commitment oriented, relationship inclined, although they take a slow and steady approach with everything, but once they have set their eyes, their heart on something, they stick with it. They're not prone to quitting, they're not prone to breakups, they're not prone to disloyalty, dishonesty. That's typically not their thing. They can be very possessive over their things, over their loved ones, especially their mate. They can be very generous, but of course it's on their terms. Okay. What else? They are most likely homebodies. They love anything that is comfortable, anything that is familiar, anything that is routine. Even to a fault, they can be a slave to their routine. They can be a slave to what they always do, even if times have changed or the situation has changed. They can just be very inclined to having issues letting go. Okay, mind you, the polarity of Taurus is Scorpio, so that possessive energy can kick in, that jealous energy can kick in, that fixated or obsessive energy can kick in, and I kind of lost my train of thought with the next thing that I was going to say, but I'm sure it'll come back. I would say Moon and Taurus individuals are very chill, very mellow. Once again, they're not easy to rattle. They're not easy to piss off. But once they get to that point, yeah, it may not be a pleasant sight. So I would also say, due to their fixed nature, they can hold grudges, and it can take them a while to really cool off once they've been pissed off or betrayed. They may not forgive you. If they do forgive you, they're not gonna welcome you back into the fold of their personal lives. They love stability, they love security, they love comfort. They are very, very, very resistant to change. They do not like it. It makes them uncomfortable. They have to be able to do things in their own pace. As far as their day-to-day routine, including work, they need a relaxed pace to take their time and do their thing. They're not really good, or they do not like to be in environments or situations that require them to be rushed, to be pressured, to have high pressure deadlines. It's not their thing. That's a turn off for them. They always want their five senses stimulated. They always want to be able to do things leisurely, in their own time, in their own way. I would say that once again, because they are pleasure, desire, goal driven, and they need a certain lifestyle, and they need certain things in order to sleep well at night and to be comfortable within themselves, I would definitely say that their work ethic matches their playtime, because they see work as something that is going to guarantee them the security and the comfort of the possessions and the lifestyle that they want. And but on the flip side, I'm sure this Moon and Taurus energy could easily marry up for a certain lifestyle. If they're not also marrying for love, they will definitely marry for security. Even though it's more of a Capricorn type of thing, I wouldn't put it past the Moon and Taurus that if love isn't working out, they'll still marry into money. And there's a certain luck that Moon and Taurus has of, for the most part, unless certain things in their chart are canceling it out. Moon and Taurus individuals, probably even starting from childhood, like, their needs are always met. They get the blessings of abundance and luck of always having their material needs met, whether they set that up for themselves or whether they are just on the receiving end of other people's resources and generosity. Mind you, that Scorpio polarity, it rules other people's resources. And also Taurus, damn it, what was I about to say? Oh, Venus is the energy of attraction, so it naturally draws things to itself. So like I said, even if it's not the Venus or the Moon and Taurus individual that is making it happen, they're going to attract situations and people who will take care of them and meet their needs. So that's one of the lucky things about this. Let me see. Very grounded, very stubborn. Once again, Taurus is a fixed sign, so it is very set in its ways. Sometimes Moon and Taurus, it can hoard, a lot of Taurian energy, Taurus dominated people or Moon and Taurus people, they can be inclined to like collecting things or curating or just hoarding. Once again, they need to be sure that they have what they need at all times. They want extra of it. They're all about abundance, typically. I would say they have very chill, mellow, easygoing disposition. Sometimes they can be viewed as being too passive or too laid back, but once again, that's just them not being easily bothered or thrown off their A game. I would say they may be very earthy. On the flip side, they can be very luxurious, but if they're not earthy and they're more inclined to like the finer things in life, chocolates and cashmere pillows and all of that, and going to the spa, I would say they also have a love of nature because they're very tactile, and it's an earth sign. Earth signs like the groundedness of the earth, literally, so I wouldn't be surprised if a Moon and Taurus has like a lot of plants in their house, or if they have their own garden, if they keep flowers in the house, like different things like that. If they like to be barefoot or put their feet in the soil or the sand or something like that, that would be very Moon and Taurus. That would probably give them a sense of security or emotional comfort. Let me see. I would say they're good with their hands because it's about beautification. It's about once again the senses, and you just touching things is a part of the learning style and the loving style of Taurus. So very handsy with whatever it is, whether that's arts and crafts, whether that's with their partner, with those that they love. They're very like handsy individuals. Even though Gemini rules the hands, I would say Taurus are inclined to be good with their hands as well. These people can be very attractive. These people can have very attractive voices as well. Mind you, Taurus rules the throat, the neck, décolleté, the voice. So Moon and Taurus individuals can have an attractive voice. For the women, it could be very soft, or just very like calming somehow. For the men, it could be very, very deep but soothing and smooth. Okay. They probably typically don't have annoying voices. Once again, unless there's other things in their chart, they most likely would be good at, voiceover work or radio type of thing, call center, like anything that requires their voice, music, they could totally use that to their advantage. They could work in any luxury industry, beauty industry, art, anything that allows them to use their aesthetic instincts, their good taste, and their common sense. They'll probably be very, very good at that. They love consistency, going right back to the whole routine thing. They can be very patient. They're very persistent. Once again, even though it may take them a while to get into action, or they may think over things before they actually do them, and it may take them forever, once they set their sights on it, they're going to keep going, because yes, they have a goal to meet. They have a destination to meet. They need some part of their senses gratified, and a part of that is meeting whatever goal or whatever it is they have set their sights on. Very practical, very good at attracting abundance. Sometimes in darker vibrations, of course, this can turn into like being materialistic, or being lazy or entitled, and things like that. I would say Moon and Taurus individuals have strong self-worth and strong personal values, that are not changing anytime soon. They like to keep things simple and uncomplicated. They don't like messiness. They don't like drama. They don't like unnecessary confrontation. They don't like that, and they'll probably go out of their way to avoid that. And a lot of times, once again, Taurus, Venus, it rules self-worth, self-value, your values. So once again, there could be an imbalance in regards to a Moon and Taurus individual placing a lot of their self-worth on what they have, what they own, how much money they make, how much of the shoes or the clothes or the food or the whatever that they want to buy. They can put too much of their self-worth and value on material things and all of that. Slow to take action. They are the thinkers before doing. So if Aries is the just do it, they're the low, let me think about it for a little bit and I'll get back to you. That's more of the Moon and Taurus speed. Big on self-care. Okay, self-care is very, very important. Quality is very important. Being comfortable is very important for this energy, and for the most part, these things may come very easily to a Moon and Taurus individual. Like I said, a lot of Moon and Taurus individuals probably had a very stable, nurturing, consistent, childhood, whether that was in a modest form or in a very luxurious form. So their needs were met, their wants were met for the most part, and in some cases I would say it's split. So Taurus can still be very conservative, very traditional, or old-fashioned. So the childhood could have still been, there could have been like boundaries, a lot of rules, or things had to be very modest, but nonetheless their needs were met, their wants were met. Then on the flip side, they could have had parents that just doted on them and spoiled them and gave them everything that they wanted. So I feel like that's going to be split between them, and also it depends on everything else in your chart. They can be very warm, very affectionate, very giving, very generous, to those they love, to those that they consider a part of them in their life. I think they're very touchy-feely. They like touch. Okay, once again, they like gifts. So that's their love language. Their love language is touch, time, and gifts. That's what I would say. Both giving and receiving. So they would not be able to be with an overly frugal partner or a non-affectionate partner. Mind you, the polarity of Taurus is Scorpio. Scorpio is all about merging, being possessive, being jealous. You're mine. Can't no one else have you. Loving sex, merging through sex, having a strong connection, sticking with someone long term. That's more of a Moon and Taurus type of thing. And I would say very dependable, very loyal, very devoted. a good friend, good lover, good parent, typically, because they're like a velvet rock for those around them. They have an energy that can be very calming and soothing and grounded, and that can once again stabilize people and attract people to them. And I would say they are lovers, and they need, as a part of their self-care, they need massage, they need spa days, they need sex, they need good food, quality body products, anything pampering, anything high quality. They need that. They should have that. That should be a part of their self-care, of course, in moderation. Food and sex may be a thing for them, like, you know, during sex, feeding each other grapes, strawberries, whipped cream. Like, that could totally be a Moon and Taurus thing, a Venus and Taurus thing as well. Or anyone who has heavy Taurus energy. Definitely needing to eat either before or after sex is just unacceptable. They can't be hungry. I would say they're scary when they're mad, because, mind you, they're so patient. Things are building up. It's literally like a bull that you keep poking and prodding at, and then the bull just goes the fuck off and charges. It's literally like that. I feel like Taurus can hold a grudge. Once again, that Scorpio polarity, like, they not forgetting shit. Once trust is violated, it's very hard to get it back, if you even can. So be careful about that. Likes to keep things simple, you know, like, yeah, easygoing, peacemakers. Quite often they're the voice of reason. Loves anything beautiful, anything artistic. Loves to decorate and just create harmony, you know, whether that's self-beautification, interior decorating, changing up their house, changing up their environment. They normally keep things simple as far as their aesthetic, but they can be inclined to either be an artistic and elegant. There could be a touch of artistic and elegance to their style. It's not super complicated or ostentatious, like maybe a fire sign or Leo or anything like that, but you'll know that what they're wearing is quality, and it's not cheap, and it looks damn good on them, because they have a good eye for beauty, a good eye for aesthetics, which is why it could be very good for them to work in that industry. Yeah, jealous. They can be jealous, possessive. I feel like they're artistic and creatively inclined. May work, you know, with earth materials, whether that's clay, sculpting, gardening, makeup, fashion, sewing. Once again, anything beautifying, anything artistic, anything that connects, anything where they're touching things and using their eye for beauty and aesthetics and harmony and growing, you know, being connected with the earth as well. They can be very passive, immovable. Once they dig their heels in, there's pretty much nothing that you can do to change their mind. They have tendencies to emotionally cope through excessive indulgence in their five senses, whether that's binging on food, shopping as a form of therapy, having lots of sex. Once again, any kind of excessive indulgence in engaging their five senses can be a way from them to emotionally cope. Next to Pisces, actually probably even more than Pisces, Taurus loves sleep. Okay, so a quality mattress, absolutely needed. They need their sleep, and in its darker expression, that can make them seem lazy, because, you know, if their work ethic is off, then of course there's that. But they just love sleep. They need their sleep. I would say hands down, Moon, Taurus energy and Pisces energy, they love sleep. They can outsleep anybody. They are the queens of sleeping in late. So definitely that. Even more so than the average person, they are just, you know, slaves to their habits, their routine, their patterns. What else? Pleasure seekers, I would say that they are definitely hedonists. They're normally very charming, pleasure, and a pleasure to be around. Very emotionally stable. Once again, they can be very reliable and dependable for those around them. And I would say they have a lot of quiet strength, and they're not really inclined to being irrational or being overly emotional. That's not really their MO. They normally keep things very cool, level-headed. Yeah. They prefer relaxed, chill environments. So if they have to choose between like a nice little gathering at home and a loud, crowded concert, they're probably going to choose a comfortable night at home with people they already know. They're not really, they do what they know works for them, and they feel no reason or desire to stray from that, because if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I feel like that would be a motto of Taurus individuals, Moon and Taurus individuals especially, because your emotional nature and habits and patterns and cycles depend on that. And yeah, so relaxed and chill environments for both home and for both home, work, leisure, etc. They're very trustworthy, and they expect the same shit back. Okay, they expect for the people around them to be just as reliable and loving and doting and consistent as they are. As far as a partner, they need a very solid, affectionate, loving, passionate partner who is financially stable and generous and doting to them. They most likely need somebody who is freaky as hell with a high sex drive and stamina and endurance. So yeah, Taurus also is associated with stamina and endurance. Like, they just keep going slow and steady, just keep it coming. So that they would probably need a very scorpionic partner, you know. Yeah. Very capable, very deliberate. They're very smart in a simplistic way. Like, they typically have hella common sense. Like, so I don't want to over explain that, so I'm just going to leave it there. But they're very like matter of fact, common sense, practical, like ABC. Like, they can be very methodical in how they plan things out, and they can be very focused in carrying out those plans. So but this can also make them very narrow-minded and inflexible, because once again, they can dig in their heels and not be willing to try anything new or see things from another perspective. And also, they can just be very traditional or conservative. So there's that. I would say they're very romantic, very commitment oriented. They cannot help it. They're not going to do anything casual. It's just not going to happen. Very strong-willed with very strong values, and they're going to avoid anything that is unpredictable, whether that's people, situations, work environments, all of that. Let me see. I think I've done 3 pages so far. So I would say Moon and Taurus are very self-protective. You know, they can't help it. Sentimental. I would say they have pretty good instincts and judgment of character. They know typically with what and whom to invest their energy and their time and resources towards, because they take those things very seriously. They don't want to waste their time or their money. So yes, they're very loyal. You know, they're in things for the long term. They're all about commitments. So if they're with you as a friend, as a lover, as an employee, unless you do something to disrupt that instinct for them to be loyal, they're going to stick with you through thick and thin. So that's great. Once again, they need peace, harmony, and serenity in their environment, and definitely in their home life. Like, they cannot do the drama. They cannot do anything that is unstable. It can be hard to read. You know, they can be stoic. A lot of earth signs are cool on the surface, no matter what's going on beneath. I would say the only thing that throws a Moon and Taurus off is when, once again, those needs of comfort, security, stability are not being met. So they don't have the things that they feel they need, and if they aren't living the lifestyle they feel that they want, they're going to be very unhappy. They may be very cranky, very crabby, snappy, not very pleasant to be around. But outside of that, there's not much that you can do other than violating their trust or violating their routine that's gonna throw them off their game, which is really cool in most instances. Yeah, so others who don't know them may view them as stoic, shy, charming in a lot of cases. Venus energy is very charming, alluring, attractive. I think I already said home has to feel like a haven. They love their sleep, so they may love naps. Anything leisure is right up their alley. Spa days. They like making memories and tradition, and they like things that remind them of, they like to be able to maybe touch a blanket or have some food that reminds them of something, from the past. I would say collectors, curators, like I said, even if they're frugal with their money, there's going to be something that they splurge and binge on. And whatever it is, whether it's chocolate, whether it's clothes, shoes, movies, entertainment, they're going to splurge on something of quality, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it. I think I already said they're matter of fact. They're very straightforward. They're not really gonna put up any, facades, unless they're the more materialistic type, and they just want to keep up with the Joneses or project a certain lifestyle to people. They're typically not for the fake shit. So yeah, they typically don't have a problem staying low-key to themselves and those that they fuck with. They don't particularly care about the extra stuff. Like I said, they really, for the most part, they like to keep things simple. They love aesthetic, they love atmosphere, they love beauty, they love creating and being in a vibe. It's a thing, okay? Very attentive, very sentimental, very sensual, very sexual, very romantic and warm. Those are qualities that you can typically see in a Moon and Taurus individual. Yeah, they can fixate on goals, they can fixate on the person that they're with, and let me see, I feel like I'm getting redundant. I would say they're good homemakers, good spouses. They're always going to take the slow and steady approach. They can be very polite. I do feel like they have good work ethic, good drive and focus. I already said they need to work in a luxury art business or industry, something where they can use their natural instinct to harmonize or make things beautiful. They want to be surrounded by beauty, beautiful people, beautiful things in a relaxed environment, so that they can just flow how they flow. I already said that. They don't do good with inconsistent people. And said that. Repetitive to the point of being slaves to their routine, even after it's expired and they need to reinvent it. They can, yeah. Not good at letting go. There's normally a softness to their mannerisms or their energy or their appearance. There's just a certain softness to them typically. I would say they're also very resilient. Yeah. Moving on to how they were as a child, their relationship with their mother, their home environment, or if not their mother, their caretaker, their parents, the dominant person who raised them, or the dominant people who raised them. This could be the energy of it. So Moon and Taurus probably experienced and or viewed their mother as being very dependable, very practical, very affectionate, taking care of all of their material needs, and being once again a sturdy rock for them. They probably had a very stable home life, a very pampering home life. In the instance where maybe they had more frugal parents or modest parents, they still had things of quality, and their needs and their wants were met for the most part. I do feel like there could be instances where there are a lot of Moon and Taurus people who actually were very spoiled growing up, because once again, their mother, their parents were very doting and made sure all of their needs were met. Even as a child, the Moon and Taurus individual could have definitely been inclined to routine and could have become very stubborn in that, and also needing a lot of affection, consistent routine, consistent affection from the mother, the parents, the home environment. It had to feel safe and stable in every way, in the same way, day to day. Mother could have had good taste. Mother could have been very pretty. Mother could have been financially self-sufficient, or the mother could have even been a housewife. Either way, the child's needs were met, okay, especially on a material level. The mother could have been very grounded, could have just had very calming energy, and was there every time, or damn near every time, that the child needed her. So that's dope. Sex. And in some instances where the mother maybe wasn't super doting or spoiling them, the mother could have been more modest, could have been more old-fashioned, more traditional. But either way, there was definitely, domestic harmony, or a sense of her being a homemaker and traditional in that sense. Okay, so whether she was out working for herself, whether both parents were working, or whether she was a stay-at-home mom, the mother had things on lock, the parents had things on lock, the home life was solid. Grew up very comfortable, stable, both emotionally, materially. I feel like as a child, the Moon and Taurus individual could have been very sweet, very chill, very mature for their age, maybe very grounded and patient. In general, both the mother, the child as an adult could be good listeners. Once again, that patience kicks in, that nurturing kicks in. Even as a child, they could have been possessive of what was theirs and their routine. The mother could have been that way as well. They could have experienced their mothers being very supportive, very reassuring. Once again, who met most, if not all, of your needs. The mother was most likely very devoted, doting, patient, stubborn. The mother could have also been possessive over the child, especially as the child gets older and gets more independence. The parents or the mother may have to learn, once again, about letting go and giving the child space to be an individual, and to figure out their own way without hovering over them. Mother, once again, could have been an earth mother. She could have been into, she wants to cook, she wants to bake, she has a garden, she does everything that the traditional mother is supposed to do in a lot of instances. And if she couldn't provide those things herself, I would, once again, could have definitely married someone who provided those things for them. The mother could have been creative and artistic as well, could have been very much into interior decoration. The mother could have also had certain things that she wanted and a lifestyle that she wanted to maintain, and of course that allowed her to provide that to the kid, and that also created that expectation for the kid as they mature into an adult. Let me see. Very family oriented, the mother, and that is also passed down to the child. So family is always, important to them. Once again, tradition, being conservative, being modest, and liking things that are reliable. Even as a child, they like what they like, they want what they want, and you're going to have a very hard time changing that. Do not try to change their routine. Moon and Taurus kids, they need a routine, and they need lots of affection, consistent affection. Okay, the Moon and Taurus child could have been one of the children that got very attached to their toys, their teddy bears, their blankets, their bed. They just got very attached to those things. They needed those things in order to feel coddled, to feel cozy and safe. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Moon and Taurus individual took a lot of their toys or their pillows or their blankets with them where they would go, because it gave them a sense of comfort to have something from home, something that was their favorite, to nurture themselves or self-soothe. I feel like, yes, children do that, but it's heightened in Moon and Taurus children. In the instance where maybe the Moon and Taurus child was spoiled, the parents may have had to learn boundaries and implementing boundaries with the children to, keep them in check, and also, just help them to be more, well-rounded individuals as they grow up, so that they wouldn't be too spoiled and too pampered and things like that. In some other instances, the childhood could have been more so like, you know, all of your needs are met, but these are the rules and the boundaries that you have to follow to deserve, you know, getting these things. So yeah, like once again, I think I said this earlier about learning. How Moon in Taurus probably learns is hands-on. They have to learn by experience. They have to learn by touching. So very tactile, kinesthetic learners. Okay. This will also be the kid that could have been the kid that needed like music or sounds to help them go to sleep, you know. A love of music, and there could have been, once again, the mom could have had a very soothing voice, and that could have been something that the child relied on to calm them down, you know, liking to talk to the mother, or just hearing the mother's voice does something for them. Of course, this is children, but I feel like that is heightened with Moon and Taurus people and children. So almost finished, and I already said the thing about boundaries to prevent the child from overindulging or becoming spoiled, or boundaries could have been strict due to Taurus home environment, mother, parents being modest or conservative, you know, in whatever way that they were. If they weren't, then those boundaries could have been needed for the child, once again, to protect them from being overindulgent or too spoiled. And I think last but not least, I think I already said that too, may have needed to, the parents, the mom could have they could have been overbearing at some point during the childhood, and so they needed to learn, you know, their own boundaries of letting go and giving the child space to be an individual and live life without hovering over them or, you know, running to them in the first moments of conflict. So yes, I just want to go over these, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. I think I said everything. What else? Very cautious. Yeah, I feel like I said everything. Once again, I said I feel like there's a softness, there's a beauty, there's an elegance and a simplicity to a lot of Moon and Taurus individuals. The moon doesn't really govern the appearance, but I feel like it leaves hints and traces of it there, like maybe the eyes or, you know, stuff like that. Outside of that, I think this video has pretty much summed up everything that I've gathered and everything that I intuitively feel would manifest for the Moon and Taurus individual. Also, when I said earlier that they like to keep things simple, like they're the type of people who would be like, they just need a good book or a good movie, some good food, good sex, good partner, and they're good. Like, they don't need any excitement. They need the things that they like to be available to them at all times. And they're the type to be very loyal to brands. You know, they're always going to get the exact same thing, the exact same brand at the grocery store. They may not be super experimental when it comes to their perfume, their clothes, their food, their mates. They're going to follow a particular formula of what they know works for them. And you're going to have to fight tooth and nail to even get them to come close to changing it. So good luck with trying to change a Taurus. Yeah. And I think that is it. So I hope that this made sense. I hope that this resonated. I hope that you got something from this. You know, Moon and Taurus individuals, let me know what you think in the comments. Share with me below. And I will absolutely see you sooner rather than later. Thank you. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and mwah.